Hey, y'all, buckle up because you're about to enjoy a segment from a Snaps live show, and I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty good time. Enjoy. Oh, my word, boys. Would you look at this? I mean, we got the SEC championship coming up this weekend, Texas versus Georgia. And if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter right now, of course, we have the Georgia legend, Aaron Murray, but now we have the man himself, Texas legend, Colt McCoy. The last time Texas was this relevant, this was the man under center. Colt, what's happening, man? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, dude. Hey, Aaron, do you guys have like a hand signal, a logo, or something y'all do?
No, we just bark at each other. Obnoxiously, we just bark. So I hope as soon as you land in Atlanta on Saturday that just a bunch of wild-ass dogs start barking at you. T-Bob loves it. It's his favorite thing of all college football. When grown men bark at each other. Favorite thing in the world.
Look, I do think that sort of quirkiness is what is good about college football. It's one reason why I like the Yell Leaders and all of their culty weirdness.
Now that is quirkiness for sure.
I know. Trust me. Nothing's weirder than what I learned about. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I learned something newly weird about A&M every year. Last year, it was that thing where like the cadets grab, is it the freshmen? They grab some group. No, the students grab the cadets and they like dump them in a fountain. And then they swim around and they sing songs as everybody cheers in their white suits. And this year I learned that Reveille is like the highest ranking cadet or something. And that if you take care of Reveille and Reveille wants to sleep in the bed, that the human being has to sleep on the floor, which is just fantastic. I mean, I wish I could instill that sort of thing in any organization I was a part of, because that's how you win, or that's how you go 8-4.
Hey, that is a very different place, unique. But that stadium and those fans are pretty awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, again, the belief is insane. Like everybody to their heart, you cannot kill them. All they have done is suffer bitter disappointment through the decades, and nothing gets them down. They still bring it every single Saturday. But I know, Colt, how'd it feel, though, dude? Return to the rivalry, Texas taking it down, just suffocating defense, 50 carries on the ground. How'd it feel?
Yeah, anytime you can kind of just establish your dominance like that. I mean, really the last several weeks, Texas has found a way to run the football, and that's impressive to watch. You know, I think this team is getting better. I think you see that through like the trenches. Their defensive line, bowed up a couple of times on fourth, down the goal line, and their offensive line just. I mean, we lost Kelvin Banks, our All-American left tackle.
Yeah.
You really didn't skip a beat with the freshman that came in and played. I mean, there was no false starts, there was no pre-snap penalties. It was in a loud place like that in a rivalry game. It was pretty awesome to see. And I mean, I think that's a difference now and what they were early in the season is that, they feel very confident in, running the football, controlling the clock. And that was evident, last week.
Now that this rivalry is born again somewhat between Texas and Texas A&M, what feels better, beating Oklahoma or beating A&M?
Yeah, I mean, listen, OU's our rival.
Yeah.
That's in the Cotton Bowl. It's neutral site. It's split fans. There's some hatred, some bitterness there, and that's never gone away. I think that this rivalry has been renewed. And I think it was amplified even more for the implications that were on this game to go to the SEC championship. But as far as the state goes, I mean, yeah, this goes way back. It is fun. I mean, most families are divided across the state. Everybody tunes in. This game was on Thanksgiving. Every year that I grew up, you're tuning into that game and watching it. Around the Thanksgiving holidays, and so it's awesome. I mean, it really is. I mean, driving down the street where I live, it's like A&M flag, Texas flag, A&M flag, Texas flag. So in state, it's just it's awesome, and the fact that Texas has bragging rights now. We've had bragging rights for 13 years. We didn't play for a long time, and now we get it again, and to hold them to no points, on offense was pretty awesome.
Well, and that's why Texas is truly championship caliber this year, right? is the defense. Like coming out of that Arkansas game, my take on the Arkansas game was like, some are going to look at this final score and be like, oh, what happened? But I'm like, no, I don't know, man. That's a game that Texas maybe would have struggled with in the past. They're winning with defense on the road, tough environment. And like, I know that maybe Quinn Ewers in the offense hasn't been one of these exorbitant offenses that we've seen in recent years of college football where like the numbers just blow you away. But if you're telling me that like that the hurdle that you actually have to get over as Texas is for the offense to have a good day, then that's an awesome place to be. Like I'm Sark and Quinn to be able to put together a game plan for a Saturday.
Yeah, no, it is. That definitely is the strength. I mean, I think they're, number one or number two in most categories: total defense, points allowed, and you watch them play. They fly around. They've got backup defensive ends that I think may have a 5 or 6 or 7 year career in the NFL. Like these guys they're solid. They're well coached. They're getting better and better, and their linebackers fly around. And I think sometimes the frustrating thing is like, man, like I look at our skill guys and I look at our offensive line, and it's like we have the ability to be explosive. I mean, if you really watch that A&M game, we probably left 2 or 3 touchdowns on the field. I mean, it could have easily been a 31-0 type game. And so, I think if they can figure that out, I just, I know I'm a homer. I'm a little bit biased, but when I've called a bunch of games in the Big Ten. I've kind of had my eye on college football all year. I think, they're definitely as talented as anybody else going into this college football playoff. And the thing that separates them and what will help them get to the championship is their defense.
Yeah. Well, I think they're the best. I think they're the most talented team in the country. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think that I agree with you. Like they dominated A&M last week. That was an absolute butt whooping. The score does not indicate how big of a gap that should have been in that football game. I was really impressed. I'm sure you've played multiple teams in the same season, probably in the NFL. Obviously, college just is going to be new this year. Georgia may play Texas 3 times, and they may play in a few weeks again in the playoffs. But when you go back to the first go, and Ewers struggled in the first half, gets benched, got hit a bunch, a lot of different blitzes. You had the corner cat blitz with the strip sack fumble. A lot of things went wrong. How do you, as a quarterback, not allow what happened that first go around to haunt you in this game? When you look across the field and see Georgia's defense, what they did, the skill, the speed, and say like, oh, damn, like I got to do something a little bit different. How do you not let that affect you?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I mean, you and I both played quarterback. You get rattled pretty easily, right? Now you're going up against a team that kind of had your number at home. Georgia dominated that game. And that's a hard one because you look at Texas defense. We picked off Carson Beck 3 times. We turned the ball over too in our own territory and just let you get some easy ones. So I think I think going into this game, a couple of things. I think number one, lean on the run game a little bit more. They've been very good running the football the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think you'll see that. I wouldn't be surprised personally if you have a little bit more of an Arch Manning type package. You watched the game with Georgia Tech last week, and their quarterback had a very nice game on the ground. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking ahead. They had a little red zone package for Arch. Quinn battled through an ankle, which was, it was awesome to see him grind it out in a rivalry game. Like he showed a lot of guts and went out there and played pretty good. But I'm looking at what we did wrong, what we couldn't do. We couldn't move the ball at all. We had a little spurt there in the second half where we tried to get back in it, but you spot Georgia 2 touchdowns, likely you're not coming back. So I think it's simple. I think it's controlling the clock a little bit. I think it's the defense bowing up and playing well, and I think just different versions of running the football. And listen, Texas is always like 1 or 2 big posts over the top on quarters or a go ball down the sideline away from two extra touchdowns in the game. They've their receiving core and Gunnar Helm, like they're still very explosive. And if they figure that out early and get some play actions off the run, push the ball down the field, which is what Quinn does pretty well, I like their chances. But they're going to have to go back and study that tape, figure out what the deal was against Georgia. And obviously you're going against one of the best defensive minded coaches in the game. You're not going to see all the same looks. So you got to be prepared for it all. And so I think for me, a lot of times as a quarterback, one of the things that can settle you down is just staying ahead of the change and not putting me in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10. Keep me in that 3rd and medium range where there's still the threat of running the football on 3rd down. That could be pretty beneficial.
I mean,
I do love. I love this message real quick from Texas Rocks in the chat that you
he
brought
says
up.
last 3 years Texas can't handle the SEC. Every game is tough. This year, Texas SEC schedule's too easy. I mean, look, a bit of both. A bit of both is true. I would say this: Texas probably would not have done well in the SEC for about since Colt left. But
there's no doubt. There's no doubt. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, if Texas nailed it perfectly on when to go to the
timing.
SEC. Sark's had a couple years to, he came from the SEC. He knows what it takes. He knows that every battle is won in the trenches. And what's the strength of our team this year? It's the depth on O-line and D-line. I mean, that's what those guys just play consistently well week in and week out. And when they do that, you're going to have a chance no matter what league you're playing in. And previous teams over the last 10 or 12, 15 years, there just hasn't been a whole lot of – there's always been skill. There's always been, fast guys, speed guys, like much talent around. But the depth and the strength of your O-line, D-line, is getting better and better every year for Texas. And now making the move, that's been the difference. I mean, everybody's good. Look at all the 3 and 4 loss teams in the SEC. I'd likely put those teams up against a lot of the other teams in the country who have 10 wins.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Texas, from a timing standpoint, it certainly worked out in our favor.
Well, and before we get back to the game, one more kind of on the program or the state of the program for Texas. So yesterday's National Signing Day. Not content with a 1-loss season into the SEC championship, year 1 of the SEC, Texas gets the number 1 signing class. Now they could, and they're favorites to win the SEC championship on Saturday. They are, I would say as much of a national championship favorite as anybody else is going into our first 12-team playoff. I mean, what happens if Texas finishes this fight, Colt? Like, if they go SEC championship into national championship, is that the catalyst for one of these like dynastic sort of runs?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to get ahead of yourself, right? Especially as a Texas fan now and alum. But what I think is great for Texas football is that I think they have probably the best quarterback room in the country.
Yep.
Quinn has played for 3 years. He's an experienced guy. He's played a lot of football. I mean, he won the Big 12 championship last year. Now he's going to play for an SEC championship. He takes a lot of heat, right? And I think some of that is okay. But at the end of the day, like look at the big picture and sort of behind the scenes what Sark has done, and the guys that he's gone out and gotten on signing day or in the portal. And now you got a guy like Arch Manning who has played some this year, and when he played, he was awesome. And you kind of know where that's going to go next year. And I think that there's a lot of momentum there as far as what Sark is building. And obviously their focus is now. How crazy is it that signing day was yesterday and it's like a dead period and Texas is focused on it? I mean, that's a –
the schedule's nuts.
Kind of goes under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, Aaron complains about it all the time.
I hate the schedule. I think the schedule's –
the portal's opening up. I mean, players are having to leave these teams as this is all going on.
Too much.
So I think Texas, their ability to like not get distracted by some of that. There's a lot to play for. I think Aaron, you kind of went through it a little bit earlier, but I would not be surprised at all if Texas has to play Georgia 3 times this year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
No, it's shaping up like that, honestly. If you look at the rankings and where everyone could end up, whether Georgia or Texas wins this game. I want to go back to something you brought up with just the obviously Kirby and the defensive staff and how good they are. And I love Sark. T-Bob's finally on Sark after last year and then winning the Big 12. But do Texas fans, where do they view and where do you view the difference between Sark and Kirby? Is that going to hold them back, or do we believe that Sark is elevated himself enough to like that's a net neutral there, that we believe Sark is just as good and can win a game against Kirby Smart and going forward into the playoffs?
Yeah, listen, I don't think there's any doubt that there's no doubt that Sark can find a way to win games. But you look at just Georgia's played in what? This is their 7th straight SEC championship game or something. This is
crazy.
This is Texas's first. Okay, so we've got a lot to play for. If you're Texas, you know who you're going up against. You're going against the best of the best. And I personally don't think this Georgia team is the team that it was like 2, 3, 4 years ago. I think there's some weaknesses there, some things you can attack. The running back's not playing. I don't think their defense is exactly like what what you've seen over the last several years. So like for sure, Texas can beat Georgia and kind of go over that hump. But I would put Sark and Kirby Smart up there as like at least in the top 3 or 4 head coaches across the country that Sark's offensive mind and his brain and how he works and how he's built a team and I think they're well suited and well prepared for this. But again, you're going against Kirby Smart. They've been there, they've done that, they've seen it, they know what they're doing, and you're not going to see the same looks over and over. Things that Kirby Smart did, he might throw some of those wrinkles in there, but he's going to have a plan for what we do. And I think number one, it's like, hey, we're going to stop the run. Whatever we have to do, that's what Texas has been doing the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Like that's their bread and butter right now. Like we're going to make them not be able to run the football on us. All the good coaches do that. You play against these coaches in the league, Belichick, they always say, we're going to take away what they do best and then make them beat us a different way. And if you look at Texas in totality, they've controlled the clock, they've played good defense, and they've run the ball. But you can't deny that there's still a threat in the explosive pass plays, pushing the ball down the field. So there's a give and take there. So it'll be an awesome chess match to watch.
What's been your opinion of, and I don't know how much you've been able to watch him, but what's been your opinion of Carson Beck entering the year, supposed to be the number 1 pick, and when it's on, it looks as good as anyone in the country, spreading the ball around, very productive, but there's been a big uptick in interceptions. What's kind of your view from a quarterback perspective of what's his year's been like?
Yeah, well, they struggle in protection bad. I mean, Aaron knows just as much as I do. If you're constantly getting hit and you're under duress, like mistakes are going to happen. And I look at Carson Beck from last year to this year. It's the same player. Dude can spin it. He's a good football player. But when he's getting heated up and pressured, there's a different feel back there. And I think that's been the biggest difference when you look at just the 2 seasons. And when he has time and he can stand back there and stand big and tall and look over the pocket and find his guys, like he's hard to beat. But when they get pressure on him, and I don't think their offensive line is what they were the last couple of years. Like I think there's clearly some struggles there. I wouldn't say it's the man. I would just say it's part of like kind of where they are as an offense.
Last one for me, going back to the quarterback for Texas real quick. If it starts off, I think we all believe that Arch is going to have moments in this game. You allude to what's third down, red zone. We saw it a week ago, and we've seen Georgia struggles against mobile quarterbacks. But if Quinn struggles in the first quarter, first half, do you fully commit to Arch in the game? Not just for the end of the half, not just for a couple series, but just say the ball is yours. You get 2 quarters, go out there and see what you can do. Do you fully commit? Do you do what you did last time and give Quinn a break? What should be done if he struggles again early versus Georgia?
Well, I think we should go take the first game out, right? We all know that Georgia smacked us and Quinn didn't have his best day. They were off. But I think you look at last week, I think there was some uncertainty with Quinn's ankle. He was a little bit hobbled up during the week, didn't know of how he was going to, if he was going to be after his first hit, what was going to happen. And so I think they had I'm guessing, but I think they had a pretty decent little package for Arch. Obviously Arch can step in and run the show.
Yeah.
But I think Quinn is coming off of that performance. He's going to be a little bit healthier. And listen, like this is Quinn's football team. Like he's done enough to put this team in position to go into the SEC championship. I don't think he has a short leash or anything like that. I mean, they're gonna ride with him. And now if he shows signs of not being healthy and kind of hobbling around and gets hit early and doesn't look right, maybe there's a situation where Arch comes in and relieves him a little bit. But that's the only thing that I would see for Sark to make a change like that.
Colt, what are you up to now, man? After, I know it seems like you're doing a million things, but after freaking, I mean, in college you started, I'll never forget it. I think you started 53 games in college. Is that correct?
That's
Like
right.
before COVID decided that everybody could just play forever. By the way, guys, Alan Bowman got an 8th year today. He's coming back to Oklahoma State again next year.
Enough. Just go away. Go away.
He was in
Stop.
he was in Trevor Lawrence's signing class.
That's unbelievable.
Cold Cops, 53 starts back when, like, you know, before he just had unlimited years. 14 years in the NFL?
Yep.
So now transitioning out, what's been going on?
Yeah, no, man, listen, these quarterbacks, I mean, look at like Dylan Gabriel, Bo Nix, like these guys played a lot of games. Like Aaron played a lot of games. Like they shouldn't be breaking all of Aaron's records.
I
Like
know.
they should play
They
the
get
minimum
5-6
amount of
years.
games.
You get 5 or 6 years to
Yeah.
break 4-year record. It's crazy.
I agree.
That's not okay, man. I don't understand that. But yeah, man, all is good. You know, I tore my elbow up last year and just couldn't throw the ball the same. And you know, it's one of those deals. It's hard pill to swallow at the end of your career. And,
Yeah.
but at the same time, man, I'm very grateful. Man, I count my blessings every day. And I got to work for NBC and call some games in college football. That was fun. I always wanted to do something like that. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm just spending some time with my family and kind of just looking forward to, you know, a lot of fun stuff in the future and, you know, kind of planning that out, but don't have my finger on anything really to, you know, say this is what I'm doing. I'm coaching my kids, you know, spring baseball and girls volleyball and basketball right now and having a great time and just moved back to Texas and, you know, as a fan watching Texas have the year that they're having, that's been pretty fun. So all is good, man.
Are you going to keep calling games?
Say it again.
Are you going to keep calling games?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It was great. I had a great time.
Hell yeah.
You know, I you know, you're flexing a different muscle doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to learn. There's strategy. There's, you know, as a quarterback, you come off the sidelines. You get, you know, you're getting 8 or 9 possessions a game. You're looking at the defense and what do we got to, you know, what looks are we seeing? You don't watch the defense play. You don't watch special teams. Like, you know, now you're in the booth and you're talking about that. You got to talk both sides of the ball. You got to talk, you know, big picture things and what the defense should, all that. So it's been a ton of fun. Just you know, kind of getting to have the viewer watch the game through my eyes and what I'm seeing. And yeah, it was cool for sure.
Can't let you go. Score prediction for this weekend. You'll be in Atlanta in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I hope the dog fans treat you nicely, as they should.
Are they letting Bevo and is it Uga?
Yeah.
No. Does Bevo travel?
Dude,
Does he travel?
I hope.
Bevo travels.
Oh shit! Where the hell they put him? They drive him?
I don't know.
No, like you never seen like big like horse
yeah.
trailer, a big like cow trailer, shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Long drive.
I hope Bevo finishes the job this time and takes down that red sack of shit.
Yeah, I would have Uga on the opposite side for sure.
Yes.
We don't need to see a dog die on at the SEC championship game.
You want to hear something crazy? So Scott Dice, one of our good fans of the show, you're from Texas, Colt, so you'll probably appreciate this. Aaron, I don't know, Aaron, do you like tamales? Do you ever eat tamales?
No.
Colt, do you like tamales?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they're the fucking best, right?
Yeah.
My family's from North Louisiana. My mom's side is, and they're big. It's a big tamale place too. Scott Dice said this morning for breakfast, he ate 24 spicy pork tamales. 2 dozen spicy pork tamales in one fucking say. What?
That's unbelievable. Hey, I love my tamales, but I mean, about 6 is my cutoff.
That's what I'm saying. I eat 6 and I'm already like about to like, you know, the stomach's doing some fucked up shit. 24? I think that my bathroom would just like the Titan submersible. It would just cease to exist.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Scott's in the chat right now. Shout out Scott. All right, Cole, give us a score and then we'll let you go.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty high on Texas last time they played Georgia. I just looked at kind of the state of both programs, and I was, you know, not shocked, but like just kind of surprised that you know the way we played the first time and the way that Georgia could overcome, you know, 3 picks and still score 30 points. Like you just don't see that very often, right? And so, I mean, I think this game could go a couple different ways, but for me, who knows? I think Texas is going to control the clock. I think they're going to play good defense. I think this is a game that Texas wins 23-19, 27-23, something like that. I think it will probably stay close just because these are both very good programs. But at the end of the day, I kind of feel like Texas has enough juice to score points, and our defense, I think they're giving up 11 or 12 points a game, and I don't think that Georgia's just this offensive juggernaut. But they're obviously well coached, well disciplined. They've been here before. This their 7th straight championship game. So I see it being a tight one with Texas kind of figuring out a way to win in a like a 24-20 type game.
There you go. Colt McCoy, Texas legend, football legend.
I need to hear Aaron's take.
Aaron, give us your prediction.
I got 21-20 Georgia. I'm with you. I think it's gonna be super tight, down to the wire tight. So I woke up Sunday thinking Texas was gonna win. I picked Texas to win the first go round. I'm 0-4 when I pick against Georgia. So when I made this pick that Georgia was going to win, Georgia fans they're pissed at me right now. They're mad that I picked Georgia because they know that I'm 0-4 when I pick against them, and then I pick Texas in the first go round. So they're all hoping that I would pick Texas
again. So
so then they play again. Then maybe we'll pick Texas in that one. So we'll see.
I mean, I'm with you, Cole. I thought Texas was going to win the first. I evaluated the same here, except that I think that Texas kind of found themselves even more. Even though you've given me something to think about, I hadn't thought about Kirby Smart just all out being like, look, we're going to stop Wisner, we're going to stop the run, and then we'll figure everything else out. That will even the scales a bit more. You're the man, Colt. Thank you so much, Colt.
All right. Well, if they play again, we'll have to jump on, because that means that game's gonna. I mean, this one matters, right?
Yes.
It matters to Texas. First year in the SEC, that'd be awesome. But if they play again, it's going to be for all the marbles, likely.
Yeah,
probably.
You're the man, Colt McCoy, legend.
All right,
brother.
See you guys.
Good luck in the stand. Oh, well, I'd say that was informative and fun. If you agree, please hit the like button, sub, and we'll see you next time for some more snaps.